Friends, have you ever thought that there is a part of the moon in which many mysteries are hidden? What is the real truth of the dark side of the moon and why? Scientists often research for the information here. What mysteries are hidden in the dark side of the moon? Let's find out in today's video. Friends, we see the moon in the sky at night as much as it is always part of our Earth. But the world behind the moon is something that scientists are also surprised to know about. For many years, scientists have been going out of the Earth and searching for other worlds. And for this mission, scientists have discovered many planets in the universe. Scientists have even prepared many such missions to go to the moon, from which humans were brought down to the moon. Not only this, scientists still have some such pictures which are increasing the mysteries of the moon. Well, friends, one thing is absolutely clear from all these researchers, that it is not so easy for humans to live on the moon. Let's try to find out about these mysteries. Friends, first of all, let's talk about NASA's amazing Apollo 11 mission launched in 1969. At that time, NASA's spacecraft had set out on a journey to the moon, and Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin Jr. were also present in it. They were about to reach the moon when Buzz Aldrin saw a light outside the window, and that light was following their spacecraft. But at that time, Buzz Aldrin hid this from the control center because he thought he would be considered crazy. But after the return of the mission, he often said that what he saw there while going on the mission may be a UFO, i.e. unidentified flying object. In addition, NASA had shown some such pictures in its archive in the Apollo mission. In the pictures, some such structures were seen which look like they were made by humans themselves, such as military-based structure, satellite dish, nuclear reactor, etc. But let's not believe this, because we often see many such shapes in the clouds of the sky which are similar to something. So let's assume that what Buzz Aldrin saw in 1969 may be an illusion of his eyes. But just think about what was seen in China's Change 4 mission in the year 2018. In fact, this image was clicked from the camera of the Yutu Moon rover in China. It was not such a thing, but it was something like a sticky gel. Now, as there are first researchers on all these things, then people are told about it. But some American cosmologists believe that this strange-looking thing can be a piece of glass, because they said that when meteoroids collide with the moon, so much heat energy is generated here that. But even after that, they could not answer why it is like a gel. Now just think, what can be a thing like a gel? Is it a waste of alien species, which is far away from the eyes of humans on the dark side of the moon? Anyway, the answer to this can only be given by Chinese scientists and researchers. Well, friends, apart from all these things, you must be wondering why we can only see a part of the moon. So let us tell you that the moon is locked with the Earth. That is, the moon orbits the Earth in such a way that it completes only one rotation on its axis during its entire cycle. That is why you can see the moon from any part of the Earth. But do you see only one part of it? There we are talking about scientists. So many scientists also believe that there was no life on our Earth, because it is said that before the moon, the rotation of the Earth was so much that there were big storms and earthquakes here. In addition, the volcano of the Earth also continued to erupt. So it was not impossible to live on the Earth. But then the gravity of the moon stabilized the rotation of the Earth. After that, many kinds of weather were formed here and life began. That is why scientists often do big studies and research on the moon. While we are talking about the other part of the moon, this part of the moon is called the dark side of the moon. And this is the part of the moon that scientists try to know a lot about. But unfortunately, so far no one has been able to know much about this part. Let me tell you that so far, about 12 people have reached the surface of the moon during the time of the moon. Among them, the first was Neil Armstrong, who landed on the moon during the NASA mission. But the surprising thing is that so far no one has been able to reach that dark part of the moon. Many times, rover missions have also been done here, but despite all this, no one has landed on that dark part yet. Some rover missions have failed, while some have been successful, so there is no special information in it. In 2019, India's space agency ISRO also prepared a mission to go to the dark side of the moon. But unfortunately, that mission could not be successful and it crashed on the dark side at the time of landing. However, all the research done on the moon gives us the information that that dark part of the moon is associated with many mysteries. Moreover, the satellite thermal scan done there also claims that there is a very large metallic structure under the surface on the other side of the moon. In addition to this, through the satellite of the dark side of the moon, we can see a large crater of 6,000 kilometers in diameter. Crater means Gether, and this is not an ordinary crater, but it is the largest of all the craters of the entire solar system. Not only this, there are many changes of gravity around this crater. So let us know about some of the missions that reached the moon to reveal this dark side. But before that, if you have not liked our video yet, then quickly like it and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Friends, this picture that you are seeing in the video is the first picture of the dark side of the moon. In October 1959, the first spacecraft in the history of the world was done by the Soviet Union, which was named Luna 3. This was the first spacecraft in the world to take a photo of the dark side of the moon. The most advanced cameras of that time were installed in the spacecraft, but those cameras were not digital cameras, so at that time the cameras used to make old-time movies were used and this mechanical part camera was set in the spacecraft. This mission was very difficult, but when it reached the dark side of the moon during its orbit, then the photo of sunlight made by light reflection was converted into this electromagnetic signal and sent to the scientists of the Earth. And this way, even after many difficulties, the picture of the dark side of the moon was taken. This mission ran for 18 days. Let me tell you that 2 missions had failed before this mission, but despite all this, Luna 3 succeeded in its project and sent about 21 photos of the moon to its agency. Combining all these pictures, the Soviet officers prepared a picture like this, which you can see on the screen. The quality of this picture was bad, but from this image, the scientists got the information that there are many craters on the surface of the moon. At the same time, they saw the largest pit of the dark side of the moon, which was about 2,500 kilometers big. And even today it is one of the largest pits of the entire solar system. This pit is in the south sphere of the moon. But even after combining 20 photos of this mission, the photos that have been prepared were not the full picture of the dark side of the moon. As you know, only about 70% of the dark side of the moon was there because at that time it was difficult to get the full picture of the moon for Luna 3, which had many reasons, one of which was the old technology of that time. Actually, there were no such rockets in this spacecraft, so that the spacecraft could change its angle to take photos when it was in the orbit of the moon. There are many big mysteries about this pit, so scientists have been doing a lot of research on the dark side with the help of our advanced satellite for a long time. During these many researches, the scientists were thermal scanned and found a very large matter structure under this large crater on the dark side of the moon, which looks like something has been hidden here. In addition, according to the research of scientists, the structure that is hidden in this Earth can be about 300 kilometers wide. In addition to this, after the thermal scan, gravity was measured here by the satellite. Then the scientists saw that the gravity of the moon near the crater is the highest according to the second part. After which it becomes clear that there is something heavy hidden in this mysterious place of the moon. Now you tell us, what do you think about the dark side of the moon? Is there really any alien species here? Or is there any other funder? To watch more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the upcoming videos.